All right, shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the show, man. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the Sports Coma. Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. In this one, man, Saints did a little bit more reworking. They reworked the contract of AK-41. That's right, ahead of 2026 free agency. Shout out to Saints Wire with the scoop, and several other agencies, or rather sites, are reporting the restructuring of AK-41's contract to create some rum. So we kind of thought that at some point the Saints would do something with Alvin Kamara's contract. I thought they might just leave it alone, but there's a lot of money as the Saints move forward with trying to construct and build more money into free agency to address the team's needs, man. And they're anticipated to be big spenders in this year's free agency class. Shout out to The Wire. Did a really good article on it about Alvin reworking the contract by converting the 10+ mil of his base salary into a signing bonus for cap purposes, clearing roughly $8 million in cap space ahead of free agency. Now that adds, along with the restructures of Chase Young, Justin Reid, Juwan Johnson's also been restructured, and that cleared a total of $31.5 million in cap space right now. So that's, according to Over the Cap, is not showing that amount of money. It's basically showing that the Saints currently is sitting over $20 million in cap money, as you can see right here, based on Over the Cap. But nonetheless, this is more of the same. So it does create some flexibility as the Saints approach free agency. It doesn't necessarily quiet the speculation surrounding Kamara's future, depending on the moves the teams make in free agency and the 2026 draft. Kamara could be released with a post-June 1st designation later this summer. The way things stand now, Kamara has a 2026 salary cap hit of $10.44 million with a potential dead money charge of over $16 million in 2027. So what really makes it interesting is how the Saints did the restructuring of this one. Of course, Nick Underhill was one of the guys that kind of talked about this being broke down. You can see NFLTR has a scoop here about the Saints converting his salary, but it wasn't a standard salary conversion. According to Mike Garafalo, the Saints and Kamara adjusted the contract and lowered his number by $8 million. Now, the Saints, we talked about the multiple restructurings as Kamara's 30 years old in the final year of his deal before he hits the end of his contract, right? So not a standard contract restructuring for the team. Now, what the hell does that mean, right? In terms of not being a standard contract restructuring. So it basically means that the Saints restructured Alvin Kamara's contract in a way where it created some salary cap relief for the new year. And it's the move is considered unusual compared to the standard restructurings, and specifically it increases team flexibility to potentially part ways with them. Now, this is very interesting, but the key financial details is that it cleared, freed up over $8 million. The conversion converted the 10 point plus million of Kamara's base into the signing bonus. So they just gave him the money as a signing bonus. It reduced his salary from 11.5 to 1.3 million, right? Which is what it is. But his 2026 salary cap number was lowered from 18.2 to approximately 10.1 million. Now, why the structure is different, unlike the standard base to bonus conversions used by what they did with Juwan Johnson or Chase Young, Kamara's adjustment was structured to provide the team with what they would term as exit flexibility, right? Now, trade or release potential, the structure allows the Saints to more easily trade or release him in the coming days, or designate him as a post-June 1st release later this summer if they preferred. That's an option for them. Not saying that they'll do that, but this follows some, what Kamara's least productive numbers from last year. And of course, the fact that he was hurt the last couple of years is not boding well. And of course, you heard Mickey Loomis walk up to him last year. This is Kamara tells the story about Mickey walking up to him, asking him, where does he want to go? And he was puzzled by that. So it's definitely in the air. So the broader cap situation, right? In the larger, but this is all in an attempt to achieve cap compliance. So restructuring Alvin, Justin Reid, Juwan Johnson, Chase Young, the Saints cleared over $31 million, in salary cap money, moving them roughly $20 million over the cap. So this is what it means. Now, in terms of, let me just kind of elaborate more on what the exit flexibility or the exit flexibility strategy means, right? The exit flexibility term that's being used in terms of the Alvin Kamara contract refers to the team's ability to move from a player either by trade or release with minimal financial penalty or dead money. The dead money is the key. While standard restructures usually makes it harder for you to cut a player because it kind of pushes the guaranteed money into the future, Alvin's March 2026 restructure specifically is designed to leave several doors open for the Saints to have options. So, they achieved this by lowering his immediate costs, avoiding long-term cap traps. And in essence, what it does is it typically restructure converts the non-guaranteed salary into the signing bonus. The Saints avoided locking themselves into a massive dead money hit if they decided to part ways with him later this offseason. They lowered the dead money barriers. The dead money, of course, y'all know, is the cap charge for a player no longer on the roster because of how his base salary was adjusted. So the Saints can now release or trade him without the cap penalty being so high that would be what they would term cap prohibitive to do so. So the restructure makes him a prime candidate. It really does, for a post June 1st release. Of course, we don't want to see that, but it does allow the Saints to split its remaining cap hit over 2 years, this year and the following year, instead of taking the hit all at once, which has then created even more of immediate breathing room for other signings. So is there some type of trade market preparation that could be doing by lowering his salary, his base salary this year from 11.5 to roughly 1.3 million? The Saints made Kamara a much more attractive trade candidate to other teams. A potential partner would be, responsible for the small base salary rather than the original 8-figure amount that you would have had to eat for a player at Alvin's age, which is about $11 million. So all this is setting up for that's going to be interesting in terms of Alvin Kamara. So we just got to pay attention to how all this works going forward, man, because it is interesting to say the least, right? All right, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Put it in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about AK-41, and will they release him post June 1st, cut him, or will they just kind of keep him on the roster and allow him to slide off as like he wanted to be a Saint for life, let him finish out his contract? Y'all let me know in the comment section.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.